Here with the former Bear, Kyle Long, who has been pounding the table for the Chicago Bears all season long, now into the divisional round against the Rams. You're going to be in attendance at Soldier Field for the first time since you were a player. But before we look ahead to that game, I want you to look back. What do you think of all that's been made about Ben Johnson and what he said in the locker room after that game when he said, bleep the Packers? As a player in that locker room, how would you feel?
Well, I'd be fired up in the moment. You just beat your rival. These guys have been shoving your face in the snow for decades now, and I was a part of it, so I remember the feeling of being a player, being bullied by that football team. I think it's really important to have a rivalry, though, and I think Ben Johnson standing on business about the hatred and the dislike for the Green Bay Packers, it's important. It's what should be a thing. The last regime, Matt Eberflus and Matt LaFleur would go to basketball games together and sit courtside with one another and share out of the same popcorn bin. That doesn't happen with Ben Johnson. So as a player, I love it. I grew up in a house with an old man who played football, and he was pretty damn good at it. One thing he always said was, there are no friends on the football field. So I think Ben Johnson has taken that and put it to 2026, and it's been beautiful so far.
Now, when you're looking at this matchup with the Rams, it is a lot of mutual respect between Ben Johnson and Sean McVay. They've had nothing but great things to say about one another. The Rams are coming in as a favorite. I mean, you've been all over this Bears team from the beginning, even before a lot of people were, but still an underdog at home in this game. Why is the general public, the betting public, why is the national consensus still not to where you are with the Bears as a legit contender?
Well, I think it has more to do with the fact that we haven't seen a complete game from this offense yet. And we've seen those complete games more often than not with Matt Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams. Even though they're going to be on the road, even though it's going to be 11 degrees and 20 miles an hour of wind, I still trust Matt Stafford and his experience and his skill set. So I think with the American public being in on the Rams, it makes sense to me. But me as a Chicagoan, as a guy who's been watching this football team develop, they've been better and better each week. I do think we are in store for a complete offensive performance from the Chicago Bears team. And they know it has to be that way because they know if the other team scores 40, they got to score 41. It's the nature of the league right now. You've got this great offense. You've got a defense that's a little bit lackluster. Okay, their performance hasn't been great. So it's going to be a sprint to the finish for both of these offenses. I like where the Bears are at being the underdog in this spot.
That's my concern, though, as a Bears fan. That defense against the best offense in the NFL, a team that scored 34 plus in 9 of their last 12 games. Why do you think that the Bears defense can be good enough against that offense?
Well, I think with a little help from the big man upstairs, that wind gets swirling in the stadium, and who knows, even Matt Stafford is not immune to the errant throw, something that goes sailing. And what has this defense done? Yes, they've given up a ton of points, ton of yards, but they make turnovers at an astronomical rate. All it takes is one. I mean, you take a look at some of these tough games that the Rams have been in. Matt Stafford has had turnovers. The conditions at Soldier Field will be terrible, okay? But the benefit of being a Chicago Bear is these guys practice in it all week long, so it won't be shock value when they leave the tunnel and they're getting whipped in the face by 20 miles an hour of 10-degree wind. The Rams team might have to make an adjustment. They're a tough football team, well coached, but the advantage is very clearly in Chicago's court.
The Rams have not played in a game this season where it's under 45 degrees. This is going to be well under that. It's going to be in the teens. There's a chance of snow as of right now. We're still midweek here, so we're looking out quite a few days. Obviously, wind is going to be the biggest factor if you're talking about throwing the football. We saw what Tom Brady did in the booth last week about how you can change things up when it's windy out there. How much do you expect the conditions to affect Matt Stafford and the Rams offense?
Well, if it does snow, if there is precipitation in any way, it will freeze up because it's going to be so damn cold. I think what people fail to realize is it gives the offenses the advantage when there's snow on the ground because defenders are reacting to offensive moves. And when you're reacting and trying to put your foot in the ground and change direction with that kind of footing, particularly at Soldier Field, it's not an artificial surface. It's going to be the natural grass. Things get sloppy. You go into your back pedal and you go to drive down on a quick throw. Your foot slips. Next thing you know, you get a 70-yard gain by the receiver because there's a DB on the ground. So that's what we're going to be looking for. a lot of offense, regardless of whatever the temperature is, whatever the wind is. I fully anticipate this being over. Very loose, as Pete would say.
Loose.
Yeah.
A lot of points. How many points do you believe the Bears have to score to win this game against the best offense?
I think the Bears have to score 38 points in order to beat the Rams. And I think
you think they will?
I think it could happen.
Why are we not concerned about the Bears' offense if conditions are as bad as they might be?
They practice in it every single day. Every single day you're out there. The only time they go into the Walter Payton Center, which is the indoor facility where they practice at, the bubble, is when there's lightning or a tornado. And there's not much lightning or tornadoes this time of year. So these guys are outside. They're cold. They're used to it. And I also just think about all the weapons at Caleb Williams' disposal. All the ways that Ben Johnson could put stress and pressure on Chris Shula's defense for the Rams. That front is obviously the strong part of that defense. And, I think that the Bears do have the advantage. I really do. Because they're going to try to muddy up the ground game. Theo Benedette, the left tackle, is in there for Ozzie Trapillo, who went down with a patellar injury. Ozzie Trapillo has been doing a great job in pass protection. Theo Benedette, the Canadian Eagle, as they call him, is a brawler, Canadian, hockey-style left tackle. He wants to run block. Ben Johnson is going to lean into that kind of thing. And I think that's the difference between years past and the Bears now. They play to their strengths.
You have played on some really good Bears teams over the years. This team just seems to have a different level of belief when they get down. What is that like when you can fall behind? You don't want to, but you can fall behind by 10, 15, maybe even 20 points and still believe you're going to come back and win. Because no team has ever done what the Bears are doing in the final 2 minutes of games.
I think it all starts with the quarterback and the head coach. And the belief that you have when you wake up and you're one of the other 52 guys on that active roster. You wake up in your hotel room on Sunday morning and you say, we've got number 18, we've got a chance. And we've got Ben Johnson, and he's going to give him a better chance. And I think that's really the moral of the story. If you've got a quarterback in this league, if you have a sword, you can win a lot of fights.
What do you expect it to be like on the field there? You're going to be on the sideline at Soldier Field, first time in a while, but we're hearing nothing but Soldier Field has never been this loud. This is what we're hearing from fans in Chicago. Fans have never been this bought in on a team. What do you think this is going to be like for the Rams?
It's going to be surreal. I mean, for Bears fans who, as you so eloquently put, haven't experienced something like this in a very long time. There's going to be a lot of young Bears fans who have heard about it from the 85 Bears fans, and they get to experience what it's like now. But for the Rams, and they've been no stranger to success over the last couple of years, I don't think they've been in an environment like this. I think that the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field this season is a home field advantage that really can't be described unless you're there. And I'm looking forward to seeing it for myself because I've heard it on television. I've seen it when I'm in the studio. This place is going to be crazy.
And for Bears fans, hoping that the 49ers can upset the Seahawks and then maybe you get another home game on championship weekend. Kyle Long thinks the Bears are going to get it done this week and get to the NFC Championship.